Okay everyone, how's it going? It's me here again, and this video is going to be over Uncharted 4. I recently just got done playing it, I beat it. I actually chose that over picking up Doom because it's the final Uncharted game and there might be more Doom, and I really enjoy Uncharted. I think it's one of the best game series out there. I think when it comes to Uncharted, it does what Metal Gear Solid does but better. Metal Gear Solid tries to be somewhat of a kind of like a movie, TV show type thing, whereas Uncharted does the same thing, but it just does it so much better. It's like the flawless transition between like cutscene and actually playing. This game looks gorgeous, I will say, and it runs fairly well. There's a couple of areas where I just felt like it dropped a little bit. I don't know, it seemed to kind of go a little slower, a little bit of lagging. It was real weird. It was only for a little bit, and I think I only noticed it in like 2 parts. Maybe it's just me, but that's how it felt in those little areas. I love the story. The story's real good. It's basically Nathan's brother comes back after Nathan thinks he's actually dead, and they go exploring for like this lost pirate treasure. And I will say I loved where the game took you. You go from these towns overseas, I can't even think of the names of them, hunting treasure, to this really gorgeous area where you're on a boat going around an island, and it just looks so great. Now, I will say that there's some things, there's some textures here and there, small little areas where they just don't look good. They look flat, like they were never detailed. And I can only think of a few areas, and it's more just so climbing areas that it's in. And I really enjoyed the gameplay. The gameplay's just as good as what it was in the other Uncharted games. I will say there was one thing I was fairly disappointed at. It was the scene where, actually, it's just really the fighting scenes. If you remember in the other Uncharted games, you could, I think it was square and triangle together. Triangle would kind of do like a little dodge counter type thing. You can still kind of counter in this, but you can't like duck from like someone trying to punch you. You can only roll, apparently. So I felt like that was kind of a drawback to that aspect of the game. Not huge enough to make me hate the game, but just sometimes like I would have wished to seen actual dodging in this. Not just roll, but being able to like duck up when someone's trying to punch you. I kind of miss that. Now, they did kind of improve on it a little bit, where when you're in a fist fight with someone, like Sam or Sully will come in and help you try to actually fight them. And it's just real neat to kind of see like 2 people go against one person. I thought that was very clever. And some people complain that Nathan can't take on Nadine. I'm kind of okay with that, you know. Nathan's able to take on the soldiers because they're just ordinary people, they weren't trained how to fight. Whereas Nathan is a brawler, so he can't take on Nadine, who's someone who's been trained how to fight and knows how to fight. I was okay with that. There's a neat little scene later, actually it's a gameplay later on in the game when you get to Nathan and Sam take on Nadine, and it's just fun to watch. And as I said, story aspect-wise, I really enjoyed it. I like how Nathan is actually with the person he cares for. I think it's Elena, maybe? I can't remember her name now. He's with her, and it just gets a little sad later because he lies to her. And if you don't know, Nathan is basically kind of retired at the beginning of this game, and he's working with like some little scuba diving team. They kind of go and clear out like the river, like the rivers going through the city and stuff, trying to pick up like stuff that was lost from like ships that dropped stuff off. And he works for them, and the guy that he works under says he has a job in Malaysia that he wants to go to, but Nathan doesn't want to, but his wife says you should do it. But Sam shows up later and wants Nathan to come help him, so Nathan, being not wanting to break his promise, like he offered her, he says that he took the job, so he actually goes with Sam instead to find the pirate treasure, and she ends up finding out later, and it's just kind of sad to see them arguing, because they're so perfect for each other. And later on, when she comes back and saves Nathan, you know, talks to himself, he's like, make her mad of all the people. Good job, Nathan, because he's upset that he makes her mad and lied to her. And it's just sad because like when they're like having their little arguments, how she says she almost didn't come back to save him, it's just sad to see. Now, as I said, this game looks gorgeous. There's another scene in it where it's like in the middle of Madagascar and you're driving, and the driving wasn't too bad in this. It felt like how an actual Jeep might actually drive, and you actually have to use a winch to get up parts, and it's just the mechanics and stuff that they added to the game are just so incredible. I personally really enjoy them. What I found very interesting in this was, at the end of the game, Nathan and his wife have a kid, and it's a girl, and you do this 2 parts in the game, and it makes me wonder, like, maybe they're going to come back and do another in this game series, and it's Crash Bandicoot, because there's 2 parts in the game where you actually play Crash Bandicoot, and it's weird playing someone in a game that's playing someone in another game. It's like gameception, might say. I can't believe I just said that. I'm so disappointed in myself. But it's fun, and it plays just like actual Crash Bandicoot, and it's just funny. You're playing, you know, a PS4 here, and they're in that game playing original PlayStation. It's so interesting to see it. It kind of made me laugh. Overall, I really enjoyed this game. I haven't played the multiplayer yet. I don't know if I will. It's not really what I bought the game for. Maybe one day I'll go back and I'll actually play it, but I'm not huge in multiplayer like I used to be. But as I said, this game's really interesting. There's a little part in the game where you can actually go and you can choose chapters. You can just go back and play chapters. That's what I really like about this. So you don't have to like go back through and play the whole game again just to get to the part you want to. But you can also do encounters. So you can go back to those like awesome little moments where you have like an encounter. There's like one scene that's really interesting is where you're driving away from this tank with Sully's with you when you have to go save Sam. And depending on the path you kind of take there, it kind of opens up for a little bit different dialogue. This game isn't free roam per se like other games are. It's more linear. If you've played Final Fantasy 13, the game's mostly linear, but there's a part in 13 where once you get to it, it's kind of open fields, and it's kind of a little bit free roam in that area. That's kind of how this is. You'll get to certain parts in the game where it's a little bit free roam. The Madagascar scene, the boat scene on the islands where you're trying to find the pirate treasure, and I think there's another little area. It's kind of like it opens up a little bit into being open or free roam in these little areas, and then it goes back to being linear for a little bit, and I was okay with that. I didn't mind. I don't mind story-driven games as long as the story's extremely good and the gameplay is great. And of course with Uncharted, if you've ever played Uncharted, it's a little bit more like Indiana Jones with the sense of treasure hunting, with a little bit of Tomb Raider in it, with the sense of like climbing mountains and stuff like that. More Indiana Jones-is, whereas Indiana Jones, he's basically kind of a collector, wants him in museums. Nathan's a little bit more of a thief, maybe like this should be in a museum, but he's more thief. He'll take the stuff that he wants. But the climbing's a little bit better. It kind of opened up. It's like there's multiple ways to climb things now instead of just one way to climb things. I thought that was really interesting. Instead of just being one way, it's like you might have one character go one way and then you go another way to climb up there. I really like that. I thought that was very good. It kind of opens up a little bit into the game, especially in the free roam areas with like how you're going to actually take people on. And then you have like a grappling hook. Now, the grappling hook added a ton of fun things. They added basically something new where you're swinging, you can like jump off and like land on someone and punch them. I thought that was really interesting. And when you're doing stuff like that, the climbing grappling hooks, you'll notice a little bit. There's like a little, I don't know, it's like a rubber band type thing. Where it's like you're not that close to something, but if you press it when it tells you to and you jump, you will actually go and grab onto it. But that's been persistent in all the games, so it was nothing that I'm really upset about. I've noticed it before, and the game seems to have gone way more with action. And it's like, you know, Uncharted's kind of always been over the top, but this just goes way beyond that, I think. Much more than what the other games did, and I think it actually, unlike other games where it detracts some things, this actually seemed to add more to Uncharted. I really enjoyed it. It actually made me love the game. I beat the game very quick just because the game's real long. I would say probably about 14 hours, 15 hours maybe. There's 22 chapters. There's a prologue, so that makes it 23, and then there's an epilogue, which makes it 24. So you actually get a good amount of stuff for the game, and plus the multiplayer, if that's what you're actually into. I'm not, so I could probably get more out of the game if I went and played multiplayer. I'm not into the multiplayer. But I thought it was actually worth the money I paid for it. Now, something that kind of upset me, I mean, there was the whole not being able to, like, duck when punching thing. That was a little bit, but something else that kind of does hurt the game a little bit for me is it seems like the only one that can actually get caught is you. Now, what I mean when I say that is, there's a lot of parts in Uncharted, especially if you played it, there's more than one person with you. It might be you and Sully, and there's parts where it's like you, Sam, and Sully, and the enemy will be walking, and like Sam, you know, and Sully, like in their attempts to like hide, they'll like run in front of them, but the person doesn't pay attention to that. I was kind of upset. The NPC just doesn't seem to give a crap about them. Like if it was you, they would just start shooting you. So I was kind of upset. I was hoping that they would I guess allied NPC, I guess I should say, would know to hide. It's like, oh, there's an enemy. Stay out of his line of sight. Let's hide around here. Not run into the line of sight to get to the other side to hide. And then, like, walk into him to just go, hey, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna go over hide here. Okay, cool, thanks, man. Thanks for not noticing me. But no, if it's you, they just start guns blazing, which I understand, and I think they should do guns blazing if it's the other NPCs with you, like Sam and Sully, but Sam and Sully's NPCs should know to hide, stay out of line of sight from that enemy. But they don't. So that kind of hurt the game a little bit for me in some areas. I was like, oh, really? And it was more so because when the fighting actually happens, they're really good with the fighting. It's just when it comes to the stealth aspect, they're not so great. So it kind of hurt to see that. I was kind of hoping, really? I was hoping to see some advanced NPC that, you know, knows to hide. But it is what it is. The game's out. Maybe, hopefully, someday they'll, like, release an update or something that actually fixes, that aspect of the game. If that was fixed, I would have loved the game even more, but that game, that aspect didn't hurt the game for me, it didn't make it a perfect game for me. And I knew going in it wouldn't be a perfect game, but if it ended up being a perfect game, that would have been awesome. And I will say, like, I mean, I think this might be the first big game this year, maybe? No, second, because there was Dark Souls 3, but I think this might be Game of the Year for me. I don't know, there's still some other games. I haven't played Doom yet, and I haven't played No Man's Sky, because No Man's Sky is not out yet, so other games have strong competition with Uncharted 4, because Uncharted 4, story-wise, was extremely amazing. It's one of the best, and I was glad that I actually got to play it, and I'll probably go back and play it again someday. I would say this, if you've played Uncharted 1 through 3, you should definitely get this, and if you're looking into playing Uncharted, you should definitely get this. I mean, Uncharted 1 through 3 are in the Nathan Drake collection, which is all the games released on PS4, so go pick that up and pick this up. And you have some pretty good PS4 games right there. I mean, granted, yes, I understand, PS4 seems to be actually this generation seems to be the generation of remasters, so it seems everyone's kind of lost some ideas here, but I think that Nathan Drake collection is worth it if you've never played the games before. But I will say this, if you're looking for a good action game with a good story, this is really it, because this has some good action with some little stealth. It's just amazing. I really enjoyed it. I don't regret it. If you enjoyed it, let me know. If you didn't, let me know, or let us know. I mean, actually, it's just going to be me that reads it, probably, so let me know. It's your opinions, whatever you think, but leave it down below, and I will see you guys next time.